welcome back to Emotional Mojo. Our next guest has devoted her life to teaching people how to master fear. But what I love is what she teaches is what she has actually lived, okay? She's not making this stuff up. Welcome, life coach, author, and founder of the Fearless Living Institute, Rhonda Britten. Rhonda, thank you for coming.
Well, my pleasure. I am so excited to be here. You ladies are hot.
Hey.
Yeah, you're hot.
You're joining us, girl.
Yeah.
Fearless living.
Yes.
I love the sound of this. And we said, you know, you teach from experience.
That's right.
So kind of sum it up for us, because we know at the age of 14, you witnessed something really horrific. What happened? How did that change your life?
Well, when I was 14, my parents were separated, and my father came over to take us out to brunch. And instead of taking us to brunch, he took out a gun and shot my mother twice, and then shot himself. And
Wow.
I was the sole witness to my father murdering my mother and committing suicide in front of me. I was 14. And so from that moment,
that'll change your life.
That'll change my life, right? And the only thing I did in that moment was scream, stop, stop, you know, and after that happened, you know, I blamed myself. I didn't do anything heroic. I didn't jump in front of my mother. I didn't grab the gun. I didn't, you know, I didn't do anything, right? And so for the next 20 years, I used alcohol. I tried to kill myself 3 times. I mean, I really did not think I earned my right to be alive.
Right. Wow.
And it was only after my 3rd suicide attempt that I realized I'm not good at killing myself. I'm not good, and I needed, it wasn't good. I mean, I literally got home from that 3rd suicide attempt. They let you out, you know, and I said to myself, I'm not dying. I got to figure out how to live.
Right.
You know?
Obviously, I have a purpose here.
I'm not dying.
3 times and out, so I got to do something with this life.
That's exactly what I thought. And I really, the first exercise I gave myself was I put a calendar on the wall, and I gave myself a gold star every day I did something good. Because at that point, after 20 years of, you know, alcoholism, having nightmares every night, believing they died because of me, I didn't think there was anything left good in me. I was not good enough.
So let's talk about fear, because I feel like, and we talk about it all the time, that I feel like fear is really what drives everything. You know, you procrastinate, you know, relationships. I mean, it's all fear. So how did you decide to come up with this Fearless Living Institute?
Well, I love that you guys talk about fear so much, because it is. I mean, you worry, it's because of fear. You feel guilty, because of fear. You have shame, it's because of fear. You complain, it's because of fear. You have expectations, it's because of fear. I mean, everything is driven by fear. So when I realized that, you know, I'd gone to therapy, I'd gone to spiritual programs, I'd read books, I'd gone to workshops, and, you know, they would say, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, right? And I'd be like, love myself, that's a really great comment. But how do you do that when you don't know how, right? And I really started recognizing that no matter what I studied or no matter where I went for help, they weren't really addressing my core issues, and they conflicted. Everything conflicted. And when I really started studying, I really understood that fear was really at the heart of everything. And when you start mastering fear and understanding how fear really works, because it's not just a cliche, false evidence appearing real, that's nice, but it actually is much deeper than that. And once you understand how your individual fear works, then you can actually master it. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not going to get rid of it, but you are going to master it.
Now, that's the... I was going to say...
You can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of it. And
right?
that's the thing, it grips people, because we can all relate to that. And the video we were seeing earlier, I mean, you're a successful life coach now. You're an author, a TV reality star. You've won an Emmy. So for this show that you've started, so you've really taken that and applied that to really help others. What do you find works the best? How do you really get through to people?
You know, the first thing, and this is the most important thing I could say to anybody, is to get rid of that shame, right? Because shame is just so...
Hand in hand with fear.
Right? So, like that shame is just like goo gone all over us, right? So the most important thing, if anybody only heard one thing that I ever said and actually took it to heart, is there's nothing wrong with you, it's just fear. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, so you're not a procrastinator because you're a bad person. You're a procrastinator because you have fear. You don't complain because you're a bad person. You know, you do it because of fear. So once you can start separating yourself from the fear and start really seeing that fear is just a mechanism to keep you safe, and that it's just there to keep you in the known, to keep you so you can stay in control. Once you can do that and start really seeing it for what it is, then it no longer has its clutches on you. So there's nothing wrong with you, it's just fear.
Right.
How do you feel about this?
Well, clearly, every single one of my clients and what I deal with is fear. It's all fear-based. And when you go back to that fear and you're able to identify what the core issue is, then clearly we can start to heal. So my question to you is, at what point did you have that light bulb moment where you said, you know what, I've identified the fear and I know that I have to take action?
Well, you know, it was after, because I created something called the Wheel of Fear and the Wheel of Freedom. And I've actually created something that
is that similar to the Wheel of Emotion?
It's a little different. Wheel of Fear has a core fear, and it has your core fear responses. And I basically broke down for the layperson how their fear actually works. Because again, we have this thing called the amygdala. We have this whole brain thing, right? All these lovely things. But you know, when you're in the middle of a fight and you go, "That's my amygdala," it doesn't help, right? So I've actually created a system called the Wheel of Fear and Wheel of Freedom to help people understand how they individually what their core fear is. Because I do believe that everybody has a core fear. Now, your core fear may be different than mine. Your core fear might be, I'm afraid of looking selfish. Your core fear might be, I'm not good enough, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting that you're saying that, because one of the things that I look for are the maladaptive schemas, or the themes that run throughout a person's life. And it may be guilt, it may be fear, and so
well,
I
and
can
it's funny you bring these up, because
Yeah.
you say there are 5 life mistakes. We have expectations, complaining, excuses, perfectionism, and beating yourself up. So if somebody's watching at home and says, I want to tackle one of these mistakes, you have something very special for them. How can they do more and get involved?
I do. Go to rhondabritton.com, RHONDABRITTEN, rhondabritton.com /risk, R-I-S-K. And when you go to rhondabritton.com /risk, you are going to be able to get 3 videos that actually explain the Wheel of Fear, that actually talk about how to redo your to-do list so you can give up procrastination, so you can quit beating yourself up, so you can give up expectations, so you can quit complaining and give up excuses.
Awesome.
So I'm going to give you a tool that's going to help you with all that.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Rhonda, I'm motivated to do it too, right? We want you to play a game of Yes No with us.
Oh,
So
I love
stick around
that.
for
I love
that.
Yes No.
We're going to give you a sign.
Oh, geez.
So check this out. You guys
There you go.
can read at the speed of light. There's a new wearable app. It's called Spritz. So it helps you learn to speed read. Look at this video. So we're talking 900 words a minute. At that rate, you could read Atlas Shrugged in less than a day.
No way.
You guys. Yeah, the average person reads about 250 words a minute. It says it's all about the alignment of words, and so you don't have to read from left to right. You just read in one spot. We're all like staring at this video now.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Do you want to speed read? Do you guys want to speed read? I actually don't.
For some books, you know, some really deep philosophical, spiritual books, no. But for all that other stuff,
I like taking my time. I like the whole
Do you
experience.
like the experience of it?
What about you?
I think I would like to be able to get through some of those like fun books a little bit quicker, because right now I don't read fun books because I don't have time.
Yeah, that's what my issue too is time.
All right. Check this out. The panel on E's Fashion Police is still catching heat for mocking Chris Hemsworth's very pregnant wife, Elsa Pataki, at the Oscars. Take a look at this.
She is huge. I mean, come on. I know why she's huge. Why? I saw her sonogram.
I mean, that doesn't look like a baby bump. It looks like a beer belly.
Yeah, so by the way, she's 7 months pregnant with twins. That's another example of how ruthless these hosts can be. But many say, hey, it's all in good fun. It's fashion. It's the life of a celebrity. Take the good with the bad. It's entertainment. But do you think the Fashion Police went too far with this criticism?
Yes.
Yeah, I just think that's awful.
You know, there's some topics you don't touch.
Yeah. You don't mess with people's kids, for one, and I just think that crosses the boundaries.
It's natural. It's a natural, you know, we're talking about a woman pregnant.
Yeah.
Honor it. She's glowing. She's beautiful.
And she's got twins.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, just so you guys know, it's been weeks and they're still getting heat for this one. So I'll be interested to see if any changes come out of this.
How
or
about an
anything
apology?
happens.
Yeah. There you go.
Speaking of which, that is the Mojo Challenge today, you guys. Before that clock hits 0, we want you to make an apology, and we're going to run through the ways that you can do that, okay? Thank you so much for being with us and sharing all those really cool details. Don't forget to check out her website,